everyone. This is Pamela Topjian, your host for Holistic Connections, Conversations with Holistic Practitioners. And today we have a very special guest, Dr. Robert Koppen, and he is a holistic physician. So welcome, Dr. Koppen. And if you could give us a little bit of information about who you are and what you do out there.
Well, if I couldn't give that, who could? So let me start. I started out as a student in high school level. I knew I didn't want to get a job, so I was interested in further studies. And at that time, there were no restrictions yet on entering medical school. So that sounded like an attractive option.
Yeah.
I went into that in the late 60s, mid 60s to late 60s. I graduated as a medical doctor in 1969.
I was 3.
You were 3 at the time.
Yeah.
So we have had some additional experiences since that. But in my medical training, there was a Western European arrogance embedded, I would say, about, for instance, ancient Chinese wisdom regarding medicine, acupuncture, a great application of the science that our physical body is interactive with a lot of non-physical messages.
Yeah.
But in ear, nose, and throat medicine, which I chose out of the many options, my professor was telling his students rather fast, please know, homeopathy and acupuncture are based on completely fraudulent assumptions. Just forget about that. What I'm teaching you is real medicine. So that was the background, which I didn't know any better, believed in, was taught to apply. But yeah, what do you do as an ear, nose, and throat specialist in that point in time? There were a lot of tonsillectomies happening in young children. And what I was supposed to do was look in a child's mouth. If the child was presented to me, it had tonsillitis, and I was supposed to say, that doesn't look good. Your child is better off without those. Let's just take them out. There were provinces in Holland where the ear, nose, and throat doctor had been so active that there were hardly any children that still had tonsils.
Wow. Yeah. I think the same thing was happening in the US when I was younger. I'm one of the few children that I knew that still had my tonsils.
Yeah. So I have I've had some karma to overcome that I was part of that philosophy. Over time, I started to realize that young children are curious and they want to explore things. They want to touch everything. No, don't touch that. No, don't touch it. So those warnings make sense, but a child doesn't like to be stopped in its exploration of the world. So what is the response of the child? Anger.
Yeah.
Anger. And anger has the power, the capacity to restrict the function of another energy system that interacts with the physical body. That's the chakra system. So a repressed child will show signs of anger, and among the signs of anger is creating inflammation. So a child is then punished for being angry by having to be taken to a hospital and the parent says, yeah, you go with the nurse and do what she says and you'll get some ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like it's a vicious cycle that was happening with the children.
Indeed. So how can a child get past that anger? So yeah, and anger is a much under-recognized generator of physical problems over time. If we realize that we have these two nervous systems in our body, we have our central nervous system directed from the brain. It is completely under our control. And we have our autonomous nervous system. Well, the name says it. It is not under control of our thoughts and ideas and actions. But that autonomous nervous system is divided in two opposite functioning parts. There's the fight or flight mechanism, which gives us a chance to get out of a danger situation. And there's the rest and digest opposite factor, that when there's no danger, we can relax and we can sleep. The fight or flight mechanism is activated through the adrenals by adrenaline, which increases our heart rate and our ability to run for our life or fight for our life. But it takes energy away from our ability to digest our food, sleep soundly, which is regulated by its opposite, acetylcholine, which is produced in the central nervous system. And the absence of sufficient digestive power is very frequently created and maintained by situations that keep people so locked in the fight or flight mode that they are getting stomach symptoms, and they go to the doctor, and the doctor gives them explanations like, let's do some blood work here and check some more things. Oh yeah, we know what it is. You have H. pylori in your stomach. Take this antibiotic that will take care of you. Well, how much sense does that make? It's sad, but there are a lot of misnomers or misinterpretations of what the patient is really presenting.
Yeah, and the dismissal during the education for doctors, the dismissal of anything beyond this sort of more typical, should I say, Western medical idea has really been a disservice rather than working all together holistically with all different modalities and all different types of treatments, be it more holistic or more medical. Working together might have made a totally different world for a lot of people in their healing. Are you still practicing?
Yes.
You are? Okay.
I am not practicing ear, nose, and throat. There were some circumstances that directed me across the Atlantic Ocean. And my first marriage failed after my son was born. His mother was no longer interested in being a wife. She only wanted to be a mother. And that marriage fell apart. I remarried somebody from White Plains, New York, Joan Taft. She was a highly respected model with Eileen Ford in New York at the time. She didn't do well in Holland. We met at a spiritual workshop in England, workshop by the great teacher Ronald Beasley. Yeah, he was in his 70s already, in these late 70s, and he gave me the push that I needed. In a group of some 40 people, he was writing on a blackboard, and without turning around, the statement came from his mouth. A tonsillectomy is an intervention that is hardly ever properly indicated. Oh, there I was, and it came out of the blue that he said that. I went in so much fight or flight, I could not eat or sleep for 24 hours.
Oh my goodness.
And then I came out of that, and that kind of started that transformation, with what it really ended up being.
Yeah.
And so with that development, and with my American wife not doing well in Holland, not with the client, not with the language, I was drawn to come to the United States to make it easier for her. And also, I believe I was supposed to do that.
Yeah. We needed you over here.
So I came to Phoenix and Scottsdale, Arizona. I was having to introduce myself to the holistic community, and wrote a number of articles for some local holistic newspapers, and they were well received.
Oh, good.
At some point, a friend asked me, "Oh, I just read this article. That was pretty good. How many of these articles do you have?" I said, "I don't know. I can look." And then I found out. I said, "I have 30 of these articles." Friends said, "Hey, you have a book."
Yes, yes.
And that's the book that that is Stepping Stones to Personal Healing
Yeah, that I read.
that you have read. It has by
Yeah.
now, um, it's now in its third edition.
Okay, yes, yes. Because I did see that came out in 2025, but I did see that it also came out earlier. So I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, yeah. Fascinating book. And one of the things that I loved about it is at the end of almost every chapter is a little reflection that you can do on what you just read. Even is almost like a journaling prompt. It's like, okay, let's reflect on what I just read here.
Yep.
And so
Mhm.
many case studies and examples from different patients that you've had. Yeah. And how emotions and the other things in their life are affecting their health. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Amazing.
and so without ever having planned on that initially, yeah, the
Right.
book has given me a lot of recognition. I was
Yeah.
invited for an interview by somebody of the Marquis Who is Who in America group, and after that interview, he said, "Yeah, you deserve a place in our records." And
Nice.
that happened in end of 2024. Yeah, that's a great honor that I'm still profoundly grateful for.
Yeah. Very nice. Yeah. And the book can be found on Amazon and it's on Kindle. So we want to make sure people know about that. And if they just put in your name, it's probably easier to find than to put in the title of the book. And we do want to mention for those watching on YouTube, because this is also on podcast platforms, just the audio, but then it's also on YouTube. Um, Robert's name, there's not an N in it, which it looks like on there. So make sure,
Yeah,
look in the description below the video and below the podcast. We will have the links for his
yeah.
book and his website.
Yeah,
So,
there's
yeah.
only an N at the end of Koppen.
Yes.
There's no N in the Robert.
No other N. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's totally fine. But I want to make sure people put in the right name if they're going to do a search. But like I said, the links will be below as well. So
yeah.
you said you were well received here after writing some of those articles and that. What did your former colleagues, did you hear from any of your former colleagues once you sort of left the medical practice and went into doing more holistic work?
Well, when I came here, of course, I had no medical license, but I was very focused on the holistic world. There was a well-known homeopathic physician in Phoenix, Dr. Abram Burr. I connected with him, I befriended him, I worked in his office for a while, and that's how I got started in getting the information that was then crystallizing in the articles.
Mm-hmm.
But after less than a year, I left his office and started by myself in applying the principles that I know. And I found some medical doctors, especially in the naturopathic
Yeah.
lineage, that were referring their patients to me.
Oh, nice.
So I could address the mental and emotional issues that were generating the problems.
Yeah.
And so that has gradually expanded. And there was one addition that I became aware of through Dr. Abram Burr, and was of a therapeutic system called spiritual response therapy. Are you
Mm-hmm.
familiar with it?
I have heard of it.
It has been a wonderful addition, widening of the spectrum of things that I could accomplish. We see ourselves as physical beings,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, but actually, no, we are souls.
Yeah.
We are not a body, we have a body, and we
Right.
don't just one time. In between physical lifetimes, we are in the astral plane and reflect on what we have learned and get ourselves ready for a new lifetime. And we interact with the angelic realm there. We do have guardian angels and spirit guides, and that is a helpful set of concepts to understand that while we are on earth in a physical body, we can call on our guardian angels. We do not see them, but we can interact with them, and in that understanding and with the help of dowsing,
Okay.
dowsing with the pendulum as a way to get out of our head and just let ourselves register and make our body available for following impulses, then we can get valuable information. And of course, that doesn't sound scientific at all, but here in Arizona, if you want to build a house in the desert and you want to know where you should drill for a well, there is no science as effective as dowsing.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
And so there was a man, I've still been taught by him in 2002 when I connected with this science. Robert Dazzler, a great soul, by listening to his guidance. He created a number of books, and then a number of charts were made. For instance, that act like a telephone book. This is an index page. Answer to the question I'm asking of my guides is on page 17, and there's a series of options, and so then I am directed to what the answer is to the question I was asking. It is really brilliant and very, very effective.
Yeah.
For it so often points to not so well-known connections between physical problems and the non-physical cause for them. What happens a lot in recent times is I get people complaining with eye problems, eye symptoms. They get a sty, the eyes are red, they burn, or their vision is affected. So then I ask the guidance, so what is the level of cause for this issue? It can be, is it physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual? And very often in the case of eye symptoms, the cause is mental, and it is often anger. I have worked with a lady who was seeing an eye doctor. Her eyes hurt, and there were vision problems, and the pressure was up in her eyes, and he was talking about maybe needing to do a glaucoma surgery for her. And the guidance told me, no, the cause was anger.
Wow, yeah.
And then you can ask, okay, where is this coming from? Is this very old from before this lifetime, or is it this lifetime and where in this lifetime? A lot of times I find still undigested childhood issues that can sit in our subconscious mind forever until there is an opportunity to express that and to access it. So this lady, I found significant anger and was able to clear it for her. And in less than a week, she went back to her eye doctor, who could not believe that her eye pressure had completely normalized.
Nice.
Do you remember from Greek mythology, Medusa, the lady with the snakes on her head, who could kill a person by looking at them?
Yes.
There are often funny pointers in those stories to elements of life that we should be more aware of.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I wanted to mention too in your book, as I was reading through your book, I was thinking about Louise Hay. And she's got many books, but one of her books is sort of like a guidebook as to relating these different issues with the different emotions. And as soon as I started thinking about that, then I read, you mentioned her book in your book. So yeah, I wanted to bring that up. Yeah, it's just fascinating how these things are so connected. And it's also such a shame that Western medicine or a more typical medical model doesn't recognize this. It's just such a shame. Yeah.
Sadly, medicine has become more an industry
Absolutely.
than an adherence to the promise or oath that we are supposed to produce when we pass our medical doctor exam.
Yeah.
Primum nil nocere. It's, well, Hippocrates was actually Greek, but that's a Latin version of what he said. First of all, do not harm your patient.
Right.
And I encounter over and over sad examples of aggressive pharmaceutical or surgical interventions for problems that are totally mentally and emotionally based.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and the glaucoma patient is just one small example of that, and
Yeah.
there's so many others in your book.
And digestive problems.
Mm-hmm.
When I asked with the panel of the guidance, 65 to 70% of Americans spend too much time in too much fight or flight mode.
Mm-hmm.
Which means they have around 30% less digestive power than they could have
Yeah.
if that balance could be restored.
Yeah.
And that can give more than just digestive issues. Or when there's also a sleeping problem, then
So many things happening. Yeah. So you are on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube. Where are all the places that people can find you? You have your website is just your name, drrobertkoppen.com.
I am not unlimitedly available on
Okay.
social media. At this point, my quiet time is highly protected. And
Absolutely.
um, meditation practice is a wonderful addition to a healthy longevity project.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It has served me really well. I don't think a lot of fellow octogenarians are still working like they did when they were in that window where people normally work.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's why I had asked you, if you're still practicing. So, is the
Yes.
best place for people to find you through your website then to connect with you?
Yes, they can express their interest on the website, and I
Okay.
and I have some help with managing the website.
Great. Yeah.
Um, so it may not be directly connecting to me.
But
Yeah,
that's how they can reach out to you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. You've shared so much great information, and I really want people to just have their interest piqued and to go ahead and read your book. There's so much more information in there, and check out the website, and we'll have those links below.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to make sure that you share with the audience today
Yes,
before we end this?
yes, because the book was already written in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I did not um, learn about the spiritual response therapy
Oh,
until
okay.
2002. Um, there is a lot of information about that science, which does not require that you have a full medical education.
Mm-hmm.
And people that have an interest in spiritual development can connect with this association, the SRA, Spiritual Response Association.
Okay.
And they have a website, spiritualresponse.com. And so it directs to classes that are being taught by teachers. And there is a lot of great insight to be derived from that connection.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, well, we can put that link in the show notes as well and in the description under the video.
Yeah,
So yeah. So thank you so much, Dr. Copen, for being my guest today. And I am just so honored to have you on and so appreciative of you being here with us today. So thank you once again.
you're so welcome. It was an honor to be on your show, and thank you for the great work that you do.
Oh,
You
my
are
goodness. Thank
you are
you.
a beautiful, wise old soul. That's another thing you can get an impression about. So how many lifetimes did my soul have?
Yeah.
For where else can you find those answers?
Yeah.
And you are a wise old soul, like how I like to see myself, of comparable soul age. So
Thank you.
my,
Thank
my
you.
gratitude to you is as big as yours to me.
Thank you so, so much. Thank you. All right, everyone, let's heal and grow and learn together and share this out. And yeah, thanks again for being here.
You're so welcome.